Good day and welcome along to another slow and steady video. I hope you're doing well. It's Trucking Tuesdays and here we are on Heavy Cargo. I don't know why I got super excited at the beginning of the video. I have no idea. But let's see how this video goes. So coming off the back of On the Road, of course, last week, and kind of makes sense to thematically kind of move into this one, which is like this. Is it a sequel? Well, it's kind of like a, it's a spin-off, if you like, and it's hard not to compare because there's a lot of people that actually say that they prefer Heavy Cargo the way Heavy Cargo looks, and they want that implemented onto On the Road. Now, of course, my On the Road video, we were looking at lights and sound and graphics and all that cool stuff. And I have to say, loading this game up, I was quite surprised. So let's kind of, I don't know why I've been landed here, but we're just going to work with it, right? So we've got our van, our trusty van, and we use the van to go from mission to mission, and it's it's very mission based. One of the things about this game that I don't care for, and I appreciate that that's the USP that they've gone for, the heavy cargo, the missions, and that being implemented in such a way that you have to get certain scores, and 3 stars get you a thing. But I'm never the biggest fan of time, and I think time maybe is one of the factors. I prefer taking my time and and sort of enjoying the journey, if you like. But it is what it is, and that's the premise of the game. So we're not going to really pull that apart because we now have a third third person. Here's our character. You can choose between male and female. Quite like she's got the haircut at the back, kind of like cut in. That's quite cool. She looks really good, to be fair, but the movement I found is a bit. It's okay if you're walking in a straight line. The camera does bob slightly. The problem you have with this is if you, she runs left, right is a little bit to be desired. Let's pull back. It does a job, but I think I prefer, and I always like seeing a third person. It's really cool. But I didn't think there was nothing wrong with the first person. Now, if you zoom in and kind of go to the first person, it suddenly feels lumpy, like move left and right. Do you see how the screen just sort of, so I presume that really you want to be looking at it in a third person perspective, but for our purposes I want to be looking at the vehicles and checking it all out. So it does tend to rain in this game more often than not. When it's sunny, it looks stunning. But let's get to the vehicle. So you'll have to forgive the camera just jutting around. It's either that or we do it from here, but I really want to get into first person. So tyres, they look okay. I thought they looked very, very good on the previous game. Here's our van. It's sort of, I don't know what, is it? I know obviously Mercedes do the Sprinter. This is called just a man truck. So when you take a look at the lights here, God, excuse the camera. It's just, it's a shame they couldn't implement, like, alright, having third person is one thing, but when it goes to first person, to revert back to what On the Road was, because that was fluid when you were walking around, and you've only got to go back to my previous video to have a look at how fluid of walking around the truck and walking is in that game. Now, we're going to come to the vehicles. As I said, I think there's a few people that think this game looks better, but when you dig into it, actually, maybe it's just a slightly different colour palette, but when you look at the lights, God, sorry, forgive me, I don't think they're as highly detailed. I don't think the van is as highly detailed. So let's get in and start it up, right? Oh, goodness me, peace and quiet. So if we hold left on the D-pad and we can see sort of like all our, hotkeys, if you like. Now, one thing that did stand out to me, and don't worry, I've managed to find the hazards, But once you start the truck, which is, or the van, which is R2, I couldn't see any way of turning the van off. So we'll start the engine, and I know I'm nitpicking here, right? I know I am, but I couldn't find any way to turn it off. So if we go outside, yeah, that's now running, so that's fine. Let's have a quick look. We have got hazards, left, right indicators, and if you hold down L1 and R1, we've got our hazards all working nicely. We'll put the beacons on as well. That's a bit weird that we got. Can you see the sort of the beacon lights reflecting in the sky, like left and right? That's a bit odd, isn't it? It's got these sort of artifacts, even one on the back as well. Yeah, that's weird. Jumping out. So I was talking about, I want to get these lights on. Second. Let's go. So I think lights is, there you go, right. Jumping out. Okay, so first person. So we're talking about lights, right? So, yeah, I don't think it's as detailed as on the road. So I wonder about this update and whether it's been delayed because they want to try and implement this new graphic thing, and they've gone, actually it's not looking as good. I mean, I don't know. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Does this look better, or does on the road look better? You know, some of the filters, maybe, I don't know. Like, I know we're all excited for the update, but I don't know. I mean, the update that I want to see is if they could just add, I don't know whether they ever will, but if they could add France, like next to Germany, so you could go to France, you know, I'd even pay like 20 quid for, you know, to be able to drive to France or down to Spain. I think if on the road could pull that off, then I think we, you know, we're in the money. Anyway, let's get to it. So let's get back in our van. So wipers, they all are all fine, and yeah, we've got flasher lights as well, which we can hold down. I thought I could do it. Oh, hold on, is it doing it? There we go. Yep, flashes as well. Okay, so yep, van all works nice and nice. I do think the van takes off quite quickly. Like it is a bit like a go-kart. Like it, you know, it moves really quickly off of the, you know, off of the starting line. You like truck driver where you can just sort of, you know, drive it like you stole it. So we're up to 80 kilometers an hour. Now I want to come to the speed as well. Let's try and find the handbrake on. Let's try find a mission. Perhaps one I've not done. Custom made. I've done that one. What's this one here? A tractor on a long journey. Oh, do you know? I don't really want to do that one. I'll tell you why. It's very windy and I can't stand. Now I know that you can. What you can do is you can come out of here and you can try and get on the highway, and then you can take. So you don't necessarily have to follow the preset route, although that one looks particularly windy, and I don't know if I really want to try that one. Let's try it just for the sake of the video. What's this one here? Prehistoric, I did that one. What's this one here? Wheels on wheels. Okay, that looks interesting. We've got a bit of a windy start up onto the freeway. So I may... Should we take that one? That looks quite a good... It's a long journey. Yeah, let's try that. So I've got no fast travel down there at the moment. So... Oh, bloody hell, it's a long way, isn't it? Perhaps we can fast travel here? I don't mind using fast travel. I think because it's mission based, I don't know. So we've got sun here. Look at that. That's quite cool. So it is a sunny day. So oh, shall we just I tell you what, we'll just take our van. Right, get it started up. Handbrake off. Western daylights, and are we good to go? Yeah. Right. I'm not sure about the van sounds. Right. Let's just handbrake on. Now, the van's running, but I don't know how to turn the van off. But we'll ignore that for a minute. So we'll jump to first person as well. You know, I was talking about the lights on. So this is a man truck. I haven't seen any Scanias in the game, and I've got a Scania. But if you go back to the video, you'll be able to see like the LED lights, and they look stunning. Here's what I was talking about with the trucks. Now, I know this is an AI truck, but we did compare the AI trucks. It doesn't look as detailed. So maybe this is a spin-off. Maybe they threw this game together just because they want to make some money. But it'd be interesting to see what they do with the, with the update, because my opinion is of this game, from what I've seen, is that it's missing about 10% of its clarity and detail. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it, and I think that's quite fair. I think that's quite fair. But yeah, so I don't. Maybe that's what's holding the update back. I'm not sure. Okay, handbrake, and let's get the fudge out of here. Now, this is slow and steady, so we should be driving a bit slow and steady, really. But like I said, it does seem to pick up speed quite quickly. Like, we can get straight up to 50. This is obviously a little van. Do we need to set our waypoint? Possibly. Handbrake. So we decided to go for one of these. Oh, there's a couple here. Hold on. So we've got a container. Or the challenging route. Yeah, let's not do that. And I'll tell you why. Let's take, just for giggles, right? We'll take that container. Okay? And we'll track that. Now, haven't had too much problem with the AI, to be honest with you. I'll just turn those beacons off. We don't need those for a second. Handbrake off. Can we just whip in front of that bus? No, not gonna let us go. Come on. Actually, there's quite a lot of traffic here, to be fair. Can we push out? We'll get in front of Blue. Blue, you gonna let me out? Come on, Blue. Stop being an asshole. Oh, suddenly the rain's come. Oh, come on. Right. Suddenly the rain's come down. I'm on the grass. Let's get back in and turn those wipers on. That rain suddenly come down. I think we'll go up another speed, and like I said, we can get up to speed really quickly. But I guess it's a van, so we'll give it a little bit of you know. Like I said, I want to come into these games balanced, and you know, so cruise control. Always thankful to see a little bit of cruise control as well. The sounds, I don't think they've made leaps and bounds with the sounds. I think the van's okay. I think it's okay. So if you have got this game, or you are thinking about this game, get used to this kind of weather, because you know, you will see the sun, but it's like literally like living in the UK. 9 times out of 10 you'll have like a gloomy drizzly day. The rain looks pretty good on the screen, gotta say. I think it looked pretty good on the road, but I think it looks particularly quite good on these. Wipers are doing a good job. And when the wipers come down, you know, the rain lands again, and you can see the split between the two wipers, and then between the two wipers you can also see the rain that's not being touched by the wiper. So you know, it looks pretty good, to be fair. You know, that van, like I said, I think the sounds are, I'm just gonna turn it up in my ears a minute. They're not groundbreaking, the sounds. They're okay. So it's going to be interesting, isn't it, seeing, you know, an update. So we've got a right turning come up. So try and do it all properly. Put the indicators on. Green light, lovely. Follow it through. The standing water on the road also looks very good, I think. Oh, speeding. So yes, it's very easy to speed. In fact, if you're going to lose a star on your mission based, it's probably through speeding, I reckon. Let's see, probably need to go straight over. I can never tell with these German roads which, so it's got to be the right lane to go straight over, do you reckon? Or maybe both? No, left lane goes left. Handbrake. While we're here, let's take a look. Yeah, you know, I'm not knocking the van. I'm just saying that I don't think, especially with the lights, I don't think the detail is quite as good as it is on, so there we go, there's the lights on the rear. Do you see what I mean? Like, I don't think I'm being particularly hard. Speeding again. It does have a radio. The radio is pretty good, actually. I thought radio was okay. Obviously, we can't play the radio because I'll get a copyright strike. Buildings, do you know, I can't remember looking at the buildings on the road. So it'll be difficult for me to talk about them, really. I thought they kind of looked a bit bland in this one, like a bit, I don't know. Like these ones, like, it almost looks like we're running, if you're running a PC, like you're running it on low quality. Like, look at those buildings on the left hand side. In fact, let's just pull it. Do you see what I mean? And as per usual, I can't tell you if this is Unity or Unreal because I always forget. But I'm playing the game and I'm telling you what I see, and you know, there is some great channels out there that do a proper good job. So you know, you're coming here just for my humble opinion, really. Let's turn those wipers off. Good. Okay. So the rain has gone. We've still got standing water, which is quite nice. Still got wipers. Can you just stop? Maybe that's it. Right. Okay. Handbrake off, and we haven't got to the truck yet. Now you can turn the camera to have a look. Now I know Fat Cat, the Fat Cat caravan. See, look how long it takes. So if I don't touch that camera, it will auto center, but it takes far too long. It probably takes around 10 seconds, which is why if you watch the Fat Cat caravan, he will assign looking at the front of the at the front window by pushing circle, but we've got our horn, I think, which is circle. Horn sounds okay for a van, a bit like a car, really. But horn works, indicators work, hazards work. That standing water is dried. but we were looking at other things. So, but we were talking about the center of the camera. Yeah, so you can assign a button like circle to look forward. But of course, circle is also the horn. So do you sort of lose the horn, maybe? But if we were to look, let's say we look left, right? Let's see how long it takes. There you go. So maybe it's about 5 seconds. Not sure. But again, this AI, this pickup truck here. Again, oh, let's get out and have a look at it. I own a pickup truck. See what I mean about this this quality? God, the lumpy camera. You could argue that. I mean, oh, there's a nice black one. I think it's a downgrade, and I wonder whether that's the reason why the update has been delayed, because they're sort of in a quandary of what to do. I might be massively mistaken. I don't know, but coming from on the road last week, I think that game might look slightly better, even though like the day, like the when it's sunny, it looks really nice. Okay, so we're pulling into a yard as normal, putting some hazards on. So here's these hazards, look. Yeah, I think we've made our point on that. So let's see, listen to that van. We can pop our head out. Let's back it up. It sounds like a PS2 game, doesn't it? Listen. Yeah, I don't know. Picking it apart, but only saying what I'm seeing. Handbrake on. Now, I don't know how to turn the van off. If you know how to turn the van off, things like this are immersion braking for me, because alright, we can turn the hazards off, turn the lights off. Yeah. No, can't see it. So let's jump out. And so obviously it's mission based. Look at her sidestepping. wouldn't really walk like that. But yeah, a bit of love with the character walking would have been okay. There we go. So we go into our mission.
Why this container is so large will probably remain a mystery. Quite unlike its destination, the new wind farm north of Stedheim. It's a long way to get there, but most of the way is via the motorway.
I quite like that. I quite like that the whichever character you choose, the other one's in the office, and they read out the where it's going, and it gives I think it gives a little warmth to the world, because we're talking about sometimes it will sort of say enjoy the drive down to blah blah blah, and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool, because sometimes with on the road you're just going from A to B, and this gives it a bit of warmth. So I think this is really really quite nice. So he doesn't know why the container's large. Well, as a hauling company you would know what's in there. But we're off to a wind farm north of Stedheim. It's a long way to get there, but most of the way is a motorway. Okay, so so instantly we've come to night time, which I don't know. I think it would be nice if there was more planning involved and you could choose what time you wanted to go. It would make sense if you were doing like heavy loads like this to do it at night time. I'm reading too much into this, but this is where it's the year 2025. This is how games perhaps should bring a little bit of depth and a bit of warmth to it. Let's have a look at the planning board. Perhaps we could even plan a route, because that would be quite cool, because 9 times out of 10 I'd prefer to go around a motorway, because some of the planned routes are really windy, and on several occasions with all the ones that I have done, you know, I would take the motorway. Anyway, let's get over to our truck. We'll go first person. Now, I have been working on this truck. Went for the orange. I think the orange is quite nice. And we're going to just come. See, actually, they don't look that. They're not too bad. The lights, are they? I don't know. Hard to decide. We'll get them on in a minute. But as I say, I do think it's missing about 10% of the detail that On the Road had. So here we go. Here's our load. All looks okay. And we've got someone following us. Now, really, well, he sort of just follows. He doesn't really do anything. I don't know if big loads you would have someone in front as well. But there we go. So here's our truck. Now, I did unlock the XL version and I put a couple of beacons on the top. I still haven't got the nice kind of nudge bar, or they call them a nudge bar, or like the bloody hell, what do they call the front panel of the it's a nudge bar, isn't it? I'm sure it's a nudge bar. Anyway, yeah, I'd like to unlock that. You can get some steps for it as well, and different covers. So this one is the twin axle, and you first of all have a single axle on the back, then the twin. I think there might be something else as well. But yeah, I still need to unlock the wind deflectors which come down the side panel of this cab. But overall, you know, pretty good, right? Let's just jump in. Now, if you hold left, no, not left. Whoops, that's the horn. Hold on. Let's get it started. Is that the horn? That's okay. Right, so get back in the truck. Let's have a look, see if there's any artifacts. So again, they're sort of flashing in the sky, aren't they? The back ones are good, kind of like, you know, cascade over the floor. But we've got that sort of above the truck, that sort of needs fixing. Is it also happening on the back of the truck as well? Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's get in the truck. Perhaps it's... Okay, so if you push right on the D-pad, let me just make sure my mic's on. I was going to be proper annoyed. Hold on. Yeah, it looks to be on. And we're 27 minutes. So, we want to turn off this GPS, definitely. And, let's go, I guess. Handbrake. We'll have some lights. Nighttime. Third person, just as we're pulling out. Which way are we going again? That'll teach me. We've taken the sat nav off. Actually, let's just check the route. So that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, there's no problem with this route, I don't think. That's a river. Yeah, let's do it. So, is it quieter at night? Actually, it looks a bit quieter at night, doesn't it? Now, do you remember that noise I was talking about on the road when if you on and off the throttle, it sort of makes that noise like, I can't make a noise like it, but they have taken that out, so it's not quite as annoying. So yeah, so I'm quite pleased about that. Right, coming to a set of lights. Handbrake. So we've got a current mission time of 4 minutes. We're obviously going to be late. Green light. That was quite long, wasn't it? So we'll give it a wide berth. Oh, I am on that curb, I think, as well. Bloody hell, bells. Have a look. Oh, no. Right. Well, I thought my sat nav wasn't working then. So a left-hander come out. I'm tempted to sometimes just take up all the road, you know. Maybe the traffic does get slightly less at night time because it was quite busy earlier on. So we'll take this left. So that would kind of make sense, wouldn't it? Sounds again. I think. I mean, some of these modern trucks, you know, they are quite quiet. I suppose. You know, they're not. They're not going to be trucks from, you know, with a V16. I don't know, whatever, a V8 underneath or something. You know. Right, green light. Are we indicating? Yeah, now. Oh, I'm going to run across the road. So I'm not quite sure how this game has been received. Obviously, On the Road had a bumpy start. Bit of cruise control. Let's try and settle in for the journey. But I must admit, I think even I, admittedly, gave it a wide. You know, I bought it, and it was bumpy, and I sort of grizzled about it, and then probably deleted it and haven't played it for a while. But actually, I think it runs okay. But I don't know how this game has really been received. Has it been received quite well? What do you think of the game? Do you prefer playing this up against On the Road? Red light. That truck bounces quite a lot, doesn't it? So I haven't seen any Scanias in this game. Is he going to come round? Come on, sunshine, you get a bus round there. He has curbed it as well. Let's just let's just go. I haven't looked to see if there's manual gears. Oh, another red light. Hold on. I would like some manual gears, like, you know. I find that quite immersive, but we'll let that go. I don't mind the advertisements. Can you see that on the road? That doesn't bother me too much. But yeah, lights. I mean, so what is it about this game that people were excited about? Was it like bring these graphics to On the Road? Because I think that's what I understood it to be, and I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know. Right, watch that speed. Oh, we're okay. Easy does it. The pedestrians behave themselves. Straight over here. Oh, I got a green light. That's quite good. Show a bit more speed. Sorry, you can tell I'm concentrating. Yeah, so like I said, I guess, you know, some of the modern trucks are actually quite quiet. You know, don't get me wrong, I would like you know, a proper old school truck sound. You know, when you go to like on American Truck Sim, I've got a Mac, and you know, oh my goodness me, I've got when when you let off the throttle and it's coming downhill, it doesn't have, like, you know, I think it's and don't quote me, but I think it's like the Jake brake or the retarder kicking in, and it sounds absolutely yummy, like as it's just sort of coming back. You know, it's just on using like the Is it like the? I'm waffling now. Please stop me. But yeah, just some fantastic sounds. It's not this right, is it? Is it this right? It might be. It is. Yeah. Okay. So we'll watch that corner mirror, and I'm not going to wait for it to auto center. I'm going to somewhat put it where I want it. Okay. It's centered now. So 10 minutes into the mission. But yeah, sounds on Eurotrack and do you know, I was meaning to mention this actually in the on the road, but wouldn't it be quite nice if there was a voice for the sat nav? Like, what game do you reckon will be the first game that does a voice for the sat nav, like Eurotrack or like American Truck? You know, because I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not a game developer, but I wouldn't think that would be too much trouble to put in. Because sometimes these sat navs are down in a dash, and sometimes they're, you know. But if it said take the next left, or you know, or takes the next right, I think that that would work quite well. So nice and easy again. Don't want to hit nothing. Got a red light, so we can do what we do in real life. Just slow up a little bit. Approach the lights. Hopefully, it turns green by the time we get there. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, it is. It is. Beautiful. So I do think there is less traffic around at night, so that's quite a good thing. Got a green. Is it going to stay green? We'll stay on the throttle. Lovely. Up into cruise. Yeah, so I think SatNav would be a good addition. But man, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? What they do with the this update that's coming. And you know, the future of trucking. There's some people out there said it's always going to be terrible on consoles forever, but I do think we are slow. Oh, that's the curb. We are slowly moving towards what really could be quite a satisfying truck game on the consoles. It's been a slog. We won't push the lights. It's certainly been a slog, isn't it? Yeah, I love that. All the beacons just flashing down the lights. I'm sure they really appreciate that when they're in bed. Um, but yeah, I don't know. You get a good view of those tyres actually, and those tyres don't look bad. But they look very good in on the road, you know. It's, you know, and it's okay to compare those games because, you know, you wouldn't compare this and Alaskan Road Truck, you know, two different games, two different companies. I mean, you would do because they're obviously truck games, but you can only compare them to a degree, but you can directly compare these, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I do these videos and I just waffle, and maybe you agree with some points and maybe you don't with others. But that's what it's all about. You know, as I said before, opinions are like assholes, and we all have one. Alright, take a left here. I don't know how far are we off. Oh, should have pulled that over a bit more. I haven't really seen any particular bugs. Not really. Watch that trailer. Quite like how the character holds the wheel. Sometimes palming it, you know, not necessarily holding. How are we holding it like that? Not necessarily holding it on a 10 till 2 position. Now I kind of keep the centre of the truck by, can you see the left, on the dashboard itself, can can you see the middle panel where it says 44? It's going to probably go up in a minute. 44, 42, right? That panel there, 41. If you keep the left-hand side of that on the middle of the road, you won't go far wrong. You're pretty much in the middle. And it took me a while to figure out, because I knew where on the road was. It was sort of one of the dials. You watch me crop the side of this now. But I do find one of my biggest complaints when first playing this game was the roads are so bloody skinny. And I was always, certainly with some of the bigger loads as well. But yeah, if you sort of keep that middle dial on the dash near the near the middle of the road, you won't go far wrong. The dashboard looks pretty good. I was playing it on the Series S and it's quite blurry, but I think that's obviously the Series S problem, isn't it? This is a PS5, and it's quite clear. I can see the rev counter. We've got, unlike American truck, we haven't got that awful where the rev per minute is like counting down. I can see the sat nav. I don't need to have the other. Oh, what's going on here? I don't have to have the other sat nav up. I can use the one on the dashboard, which is nice. It's a bit tight, isn't it? Still front person. Look at that. Road looks good under the lights. And to be fair, those trees and that moon cascading through the trees looks pretty damn good. Like, it's a bit of a cloudy night. And at times, like now, this looks pretty stunning. Like I said, I don't mean to pull the graphics apart, because look at that. I mean, it looks great, doesn't it? But I think the lights on the road look slightly better. I think there's whether they've dropped the a certain quality on the trucks, only by like 5%, maybe 10. I'm not sure. But we're picking, But that moon coming through those trees, that there is quite pretty. And the trees, we've had no problem with the trees. There's enough trees around, to make it look good. Obviously, if you zoom out like this, we can see the cliff here, but there's enough variation, and I know that was a big thing on the road, but, when I got playing on the road last week, I came down to some ports, and I was going over bridges, and there was elevation changes, and, I didn't really have a problem with it, So I'll take a wide berth on this one. The truck does turn quite quickly. It can turn quickly. I think, you could argue, does it feel weighty? Well, maybe not under load. Like, let's accelerate if we've got a straight bit of road. We've got a left-hander coming up. So, we're up to 60 kilometers an hour with that great weight on the back, and we're approaching 70 kilometers an hour on the brakes because we've got to take this left. Again, you can throw it around a bit like a skateboard. If we were braver, we could have come into that a bit hot, and drove it like we stole it, which you probably wouldn't. Something like this probably has, you wouldn't probably, certainly with some of the larger loads, you wouldn't be exceeding 40 miles an hour. I know it's kilometers. Is this, where? Hold on a second. I'm going to come out just because I don't want to crop. I'm just going to ride this white line with that wheel, that front left wheel, just so we don't crop the, how are we doing for, we're not too bad, to be fair. This is quite nice, actually, larger loads, when you've got to sort of take care and it's a bit skinny, but it's the constant skinny roads that do my head in. I take it we're going the right way. How far are we off then? So, pretty straight now. So, let's give it some beans then. Let's see what we can do. Because realistically, you wouldn't be. I don't believe you would be speeding with this kind of load. So it's pretty straight. So 80 kilometers, that's probably, I don't know, miles per hour, 60 maybe. Now 90. So we're now at 70. Is that as fast as it goes? 90. Actually feels pretty slow for doing this kind of speed. Right, let's not crash it. I might just keep it at this speed just because I don't want to run out of video. I know it's slow and steady, and we would normally take it slow and steady, but for the argument, you know, so we're up to 100 kilometers an hour now. Maybe that's down on your own merit, and you wouldn't drive this quickly because, you know, you'd want to be sort of role playing, you know. It's not a bad game. Maybe it's because of the career. I sort of don't have a lot of. I mean, there is things you unlock on the truck, and that's quite nice. We are speeding. Let's slow this down just a bit. Yeah, I just don't care enough about it, and maybe that's because it hasn't got a career. Or I'm not. You know, I like putting a nice, you know, paint job on my truck, which you have on the road and stuff, you know. Yeah, we're definitely going to get, we're not going to get freestyles because we've been speeding. Slow this up a little bit. Right, there we go. Can we put that? Cool. But yeah, we'll take this right. Is this going to be, so we need this turning. How far are we off now? Bloody hell, we're still quite away. How long got left in the video? 15 minutes. Right, okay. I'm going to somewhat try and keep the hammer down so we can get completed in the 15 minutes. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. You know, do you own it? Have you really sort of like, oh, it's a bit tight, was it easy? Have you, because we buy these games and sometimes they just sit in our bloody, you know, we give money to the developer and then we never play it again, you know. This is tight, I won't say. But no, I'm certainly not going to say, like, it's not a bad looking game, you know, by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. Again, let's get this hammer down. Conscious of time. This is a one-shot camera. I don't tend to edit my videos if I can help it. I've got a car on the inside. Should we let him go? Okay. Yeah, I don't tend to get, you know, because I like waffling. And I'm able to sort of like, you know, yeah, that's kind of what we get here on the channel. So it is quite a long journey. Are we going to need this turning? No, straight on. Nice to see the truck parks on the right. I think they are all manned trucks though. Look like manned, don't they? So I wonder why they dropped the Scania off of this you know. But again, I suppose it was a, you know, it was a, do you think this was a money maker, you know, just to make a bit of money, you know, put something out? It's a shame that it's not implemented as part of on the road, like integrated into that game, where you could take your own truck and kit it out for like an XL, or maybe have a couple of trucks. Sorry guys, we're in a hurry. You know, and that way in your career you save up for like a, you know, a heavy cargo lorry. Just check that side. Are we going to need this one? Maybe. Yeah, I reckon we might struggle to get this delivered, you know. I don't want to drive it like too aggressively. I suppose I could cut the video, couldn't I? Let me check the time. Hold on. How do I do it? Yeah, we've got 10 minutes left. So, what I'm going to do... Or do you think we can get there in 10 minutes? No. I'm gonna cut the video here and then add on 10 minutes and we'll deliver it and have a final thought. So I will see you in a minute. Welcome back, and do you know, it's been quite a nice little drive actually here. Oh, nearly missed my turning. I was carrying a nice little bit of speed and the road was quite nice to drive on, and I was thinking actually I'm quite enjoying myself here. So we mentioned of course the wind farm that we're bringing this up to. Again, looks great, doesn't it? Let's have a look at it. Yeah, I quite enjoyed. So look at that. You can see the top of the beacons there. They do sort of is artifact the right name? That's quite bad actually. I've had a good drive, and you know it's been a good drive here. Actually, that's a good point. You know, on the road there is no character driving the truck, and I mentioned that there was no character driving the truck, and that slightly, you know, annoyed me slightly because it, you know, you want to see it, like, so even, you know, you want to see a character in the truck. We have that now, don't we? So yeah, that's quite cool. So here we are. So we've come into the yard. We should probably throw some hazards on. They look nice on the road actually. I'm tempted. Handbrake. Let's have a walk around just before we drop it off. Let's go for a first person. Obviously it's dark, the lights are quite bright, so they would be quite blinding. But there we go, this is Heavy Cargo. Have I had fun with it this week? I have. I can't say I've not had fun. There's a few things that I would probably change. Just looking at those tyres on the back of there. I do think the quality has been dropped down by about 10%. I think that's more than fair to say, because of what we spoke of. But sounds, you know, it sounds okay. Sometimes it can sound a bit odd, but hey, it's not the worst on the market. You get to do up your truck. It is what it is. It's Heavy Cargo. It's mission based, and see, I was going to pick fault with that crane over there because I instantly can see the quality of that crane. Now, you don't get to reverse your loads, but I suppose being Heavy Cargo. Oh, I'm so pleased to see hazards in the game. Look at that. We're coming in like a flashing Christmas tree coming into this yard. We'll drop it over here. Yeah, you know. My thoughts. I've enjoyed it. I think it looks alright. I think it sounds alright. And it does the job. Step out of the vehicle, it says. So I don't think, again, I don't think I can turn the truck off. I'm not going to jump in case it buggers the mission, because it's told me to jump out. Now it wants me to go over there. So, how do I feel about the mission just ending, literally, at the snap of a finger? I don't know. I suppose it is what it is. It is what it is. I would like to, I suppose, for there to be a van here maybe, and I can just go home. Let's do it. So, that, see, I didn't damage my load. My load was 0% damaged, so I didn't drive like an idiot. Um, Speed limit is always going to be hard to pull off because um, the truck does gather speed downhill, and 100% on the traffic lights. That's quite good. 2 stars, driving styles 9. That's not bad, really. Considering I was driving off camera as well, so you know. But overall, pretty good. I think that's it for this video. If we push continue, it will leave us back at the same yard. A lovely dawn, so it puts you back in this place, but it refuses to leave. Like, wouldn't it be nice if you seen the trailer at least, even if you didn't see your truck, you know? Um, well, I've got roadcraft coming to the channel soon. That's going to be interesting. But there we go. Next week, what do we have? We have truck and logistics, truck driver logistics, truck logistics next week. And I had fun with that game. I think it's going to be interesting going to a, you know, again, a brand new IP, brand new different company. And because we've done two, we did Truck Driver and then Truck Driver The American Dream, which were obviously somewhat related, and then On the Road, and then Heavy Cargo. So yeah, Truck and Logistics next Trucking Tuesday. But from me to you, it's a man truck. Yeah, I do think those lights are. Anyway, we've spoken enough about it. Let's sign off. Let's leave it there from our character, which is nice to see a character, I guess, running around in the world, to a location that obviously we spoke about the warmth of locations and understanding different locations around the map, and you know, getting familiar with those, and that's kind of cool. That's it from me. I will see you on the next one. Thank you if you got through this video. A big shout out to all the subscribers here on the channel. You are the true SAS crew, the slow and steady crew, who I am very grateful to have on board. If you want to smash a like on the way out, that would be super cool. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. See you soon.